Hi, I didn't see you there. I was just checking out my new bike. Take a look at my new bike, isn't it cool? Today I want to teach you some bike vocabulary. But first, I want to do a little English challenge with you. Okay, take a look at these things here on the tire. What would you call these metal things that go from the middle of the wheel over here to sort of the side of the wheel? What would you call these things in English? Do you know? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to take a guess. Okay, so I want you to write your guess down there in the comments, and then I'll tell you the right answer. Are you ready? 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. Do you know the word Mississippi? Do you know sometimes when people count and they say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi? What does that mean? Why do they do that? Well, they do that to regulate their counting so that it's real seconds, so that they're not counting too fast, right? Like if I go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those aren't real seconds, right? Those are too fast. They're not seconds. So sometimes people use the word Mississippi to regulate their counting so that it's more like real seconds, right? Because it takes a little while to say the word Mississippi. Okay, Mississippi is the name of a state in the U.S. Okay, it's also the name of a river. It's a really big river that goes all the way from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico. It's one of the biggest rivers in the world, the Mississippi River. Okay, so sometimes when people count, they say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, right? Because that's like more like a real second. Okay, so I'm going to count to 5. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and then I want you to write your answer, what these things are called, down there in the comments. Are you ready? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Okay, the right answer is they are called spokes. Spokes. These are the spokes in the wheel. The spokes go from the middle of the wheel here over here to the rim. Okay, you could describe this metal piece here as the rim. Okay, so these are the spokes, and this is the rim, and this is the tire. Okay, this black piece here is the tire. So this whole thing is called the wheel. The wheel and the tire. Sometimes people use the word wheel and tire interchangeably. You know, I don't know. Sometimes people do that, but really this is the tire here, this black part, and the whole thing is the wheel. And these are the spokes. Oh, and what's this? Do you know what this thing is here? For safety, if you're driving at night, you know, then people can see you. It's not a light, right? It's not a light because a light makes light. This doesn't make any light, but this is called a reflector. A reflector. Okay, so sometimes people have reflectors on their bike or on their helmet or their body to keep themselves safe at night. Okay, there's so much vocabulary here. I don't even know where to start. You know, I'm not a bike expert, but I'm going to teach you some vocabulary that a normal person would know. Probably a normal English speaker would know. I mean, I don't know all the technical words of everything, but I think I can do a pretty good job. So let's just start right here. What's this? This is called the pedal. Okay, the pedal. So a bike has 2 pedals, right? So front tire, back tire, or wheel, front wheel, back wheel. This is called the fender. The fender, okay? Or if it's just like a smaller thing, like out of plastic, then people might call it a mudguard. A mudguard. But I would call this a fender. Now, all the metal part here, this main part is called the frame. It's called the frame of the bike. Okay, so this piece here, this is the frame of the bike. Okay, so what else can I teach you here? I think I need to flip this bike the right side up right now it's upside down, right? I need to flip it right side up so I can teach you some other vocabulary, okay? So here we go. I'm going to flip it right side up. I'm going to put down the kickstand. This thing here is called the kickstand. Okay, very helpful. If you don't have a kickstand, then you always need to lean your bike up against a tree or against a wall or something like that. So it's very nice having a kickstand. Also, it's nice to have a rack like this to put, stuff on. If you want to buy something, you can buy a bungee cord, and then that can keep your stuff on the rack. So if you buy some food or something, you put the food on the rack, and then you could strap it down with a bungee cord. A bungee cord is like a sort of like a flexible cord. This is called a bungee cord, okay? So I don't have a bungee cord, but I could buy a bungee cord if I want to carry stuff on this rack here. Okay, so what else do we have here? Here's the seat. You know that, right? That's a very easy vocabulary, easy word there. And then if we look at the front of the bike here, these are the handlebars. Can you even see that? Maybe I should move my camera up a bit, right, like that. Okay, so these are the handlebars here, and this is the brake. Okay, so the bike has two brakes. Let's see, that's the rear brake, and this one is the front brake. Okay, so brakes. You need brakes on a bike, right? Oh, I should show you the brake pads. Let me move the camera down a little bit again. Okay, so can you see this thing here? Or let me see on the back. Does the back even have a brake? Oh, I think the brake is inside that piece there. Usually the brake is up here on the rim, right? But on the front here you can see this is the brake. Okay, the brake, this thing here is called the brake pad. Okay, so the brake pad pushes against the rim to slow the bike down, right? So front brake, back brake, or rear brake. What else can I say? Okay, so brakes. Let me just move the camera up again. Okay, so now some bikes have gears, right? You can change gears. This bike can't. It's just a one-gear bike. It's a single speed bike. But some bikes are like 18 speed or 21 speed, right? Now, I should flip this around so I can show you the chain. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around. Okay, so this is the chain here, right? This greasy thing. Look, my fingers are greasy because I touched the chain. Grease is like oil, okay? So you put grease on the chain to make it run more smoothly, okay? So the chain goes around this thing here and around this back thing. I think this would be called a sprocket. A sprocket, like with the spikes like here and here. I think that's called a sprocket. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know much about bikes or about cars or that kind of vocabulary, but I think it's called a sprocket. Oh, I forgot to teach you this thing. How do you put air in the tires? Do you know how to put air in the tires? Well, first you need to buy a pump, right? A bike pump, and then you connect it to this thing here. What's this thing here called? This is called, can you even see it? Let me move the camera down a bit. Okay, so this is called the nozzle. I would call it the air nozzle. Okay, so you unscrew this little black piece here, and then you connect the pump, and then you start pumping the tires full of air. Okay, so what else can I teach you? Now, this bike is a very special bike. It's really cool because it's a folding bike. It's a collapsable bike. I can fold it in half and then carry it. Isn't that cool? It's a folding bike. Okay, so to fold it, I would do this and then this. Okay, see? Now it's folding. Wow, isn't that cool? So this piece I would call I would call it a latch, I think. A latch or a clamp. A clamp. Okay, so I would undo the latch or undo the clamp, and then I move it like this, and then look at that, the bike can fold in half. That's so cool. Anyway, I think that's all the words I wanted to teach you. Let me see. I guess I didn't talk about this piece. This piece could probably be described as a brace or a bracket. Okay, a brace or a bracket that sort of helps support the frame of the bike. Okay, so I think that's all the bike vocabulary I know. I've exhausted my knowledge about bikes. If you exhaust your knowledge, that means you reach sort of the end of your knowledge about something. So like I said, I don't know too much about bikes, but I've exhausted my vocabulary on bikes now. I hope you learned some things. I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know down there in the comments if you would like to have a folding bike like I do. It's so cool. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.